Welcome to today's news briefing. I'm Dana.
And I'm Matt. Let's dive into the top stories.
Former U.S. President Joe Biden's prostate cancer has spread to other parts of his body, according to his son Hunter Biden. The reporting says this development has caused Joe Biden significant pain.
That's concerning. How did Hunter Biden share this information, and what's the current status of his father's treatment?
Hunter Biden discussed his father's condition in a BBC interview. He described the cancer as very painful and very debilitating. The exact status of Joe Biden's treatment isn't clear from the reporting, but it's mentioned that he's continuing to speak out on public issues despite his health challenges.
So, despite the spread of cancer, Joe Biden remains active in public life. Have there been any official statements from the Biden camp regarding his health?
The articles don't mention any recent official statements from Joe Biden or his team about his health. Hunter Biden's interview seems to be the primary source of this information.
That's interesting. It raises questions about transparency regarding the health of public figures. Let's move on to the next story.
Yemen's Houthis have claimed responsibility for attacking an Aramco oil facility in southwestern Saudi Arabia. This is part of the ongoing tensions in the region.
What's known about the attack, and how has Saudi Arabia responded?
The Houthis said they carried out the attack on Sunday. The reporting doesn't provide details on the extent of the damage or any immediate response from Saudi Arabia. However, it's mentioned that this is the latest in a series of attacks by the Iranian-backed Houthi rebels on the kingdom.
These attacks are significant because they can impact global oil prices. Has there been any reaction from the international community?
The articles mention that Iran has made new demands regarding the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, which is a critical waterway for oil shipments. The Pentagon is also pressing the U.S. defense industry to accelerate production of weapons, likely in response to the escalating tensions.
That ties into the broader context of regional tensions and global energy security. Let's explore another story.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently remembered the participants of the Quit India movement, saying their courage remains an inspiration for every Indian.
The Quit India movement is a significant historical event. Can you provide some context about it?
The Quit India movement was launched by Mahatma Gandhi in 1942, calling for an end to British rule in India. It was a pivotal moment in India's struggle for independence, marking a significant escalation in the freedom movement.
That's right. PM Modi's statement highlights the ongoing relevance of this historical event. How did he frame the movement's legacy?
According to the reporting, PM Modi stated that the courage of those who participated in the Quit India movement continues to inspire Indians. He honored their contributions to the country's independence.
It's interesting to see how historical events are remembered and used to inspire current generations. Let's move to another topic.
Germany's Interior Minister, Alexander Dobrindt, has warned that the country faces daily hybrid warfare attacks from foreign powers, following a suspected drone attack at Leipzig-Halle Airport.
What exactly is hybrid warfare, and how is Germany being affected?
Hybrid warfare refers to a mix of conventional and non-conventional tactics, including cyber attacks, sabotage, and covert operations aimed at destabilizing a country. Dobrindt mentioned that foreign powers are using such tactics to subdue Germany politically and socially by stirring up fear.
That's a broad and concerning threat. Are there any specifics on how Germany is responding to these threats?
The reporting indicates that the German government is planning to enhance its anti-drone defenses significantly. There's also mention of drone sightings near military facilities, suggesting a heightened state of alert.
This story highlights the evolving nature of security threats in Europe. Let's continue with another story.
Russia and Ukraine have exchanged strikes, resulting in at least 7 deaths and many injuries on both sides, according to local authorities.
The conflict between Russia and Ukraine continues to be volatile. Can you provide more details on these latest exchanges?
The reporting says that Russia's border region, Belgorod, saw significant casualties, with 5 people dead and 24 injured. Ukrainian cities have been under large-scale Russian missile strikes, which have become almost routine.
The use of Patriot systems by Ukraine is mentioned as a factor. How effective are these systems in countering Russian missile strikes?
The articles note that Ukraine is facing a critical shortage of interceptors for the U.S.-made Patriot systems, which makes it harder for them to defend against Russian missile attacks.
That shortage is a significant concern for Ukraine's defense capabilities. Let's move on to another story.
Cyprus is set to supply natural gas to Europe by the first half of 2028, according to the island nation's energy minister.
That's an interesting development in the energy sector. Can you elaborate on the plans for supplying natural gas from Cyprus to Europe?
The energy minister stated that gas from an undersea deposit off Cyprus will be available to European consumers as early as March 2028. The plan involves developing the Kronos gas field off Cyprus's coast and using a pipeline to Egypt's Zohr deposit for liquefaction before transport to Europe.
This initiative is part of Europe's efforts to diversify its energy sources, especially in light of the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. How significant is this new source likely to be?
While the exact volume of gas isn't specified in the reporting, it's mentioned that the East Mediterranean is becoming an alternative energy source for Europe. This development is seen as part of a broader strategy to reduce dependence on Russian energy supplies.
That makes sense. Diversifying energy sources is crucial for Europe's energy security. Let's explore another story.
China's producer price inflation slowed more than expected in July, easing to its weakest in 3 months, while consumer inflation also cooled.
What are the specifics of the inflation data, and what factors are driving these changes?
The producer price index rose 3.5% in July from a year ago, slower than expected and down from 4.1% in the previous month. Consumer inflation was also subdued, with the National Consumer Price Index rising 0.5% last month.
These numbers suggest a slowdown in price pressures. What's behind this easing of inflation?
The reporting attributes the slowdown to lower domestic fuel prices and weak domestic demand. Weaker energy prices and soft domestic demand have reduced price pressures.
That context helps understand the economic conditions in China. Let's move to another topic.
The Enforcement Directorate, the ED, has filed a prosecution complaint against Reliance Infrastructure Limited, a company associated with the Anil Ambani Group under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act.
What are the allegations against Reliance Infrastructure Limited?
The ED alleges diversion of funds and other financial irregularities. The specific details of the case involve the alleged misuse of credit facilities and fraudulent transactions.
The ED is seeking confiscation of attached properties worth a significant amount. Can you provide more details on the case's financial implications?
The reporting mentions that the ED has attached properties worth 8,078.06 crore in a related case involving Reliance Communications. The exact figure for Reliance Infrastructure Limited isn't specified, but it's part of a larger investigation into financial irregularities within the Anil Ambani Group.
These are significant allegations with substantial financial implications. Let's explore another story.
A fire at Aramco's Jazan refinery on the Red Sea was extinguished without any reported injuries.
What caused the fire, and what's known about the refinery's operations?
The fire broke out early on Sunday, and Aramco's industrial security teams brought it under control. The refinery was shut down in July following an attack by Yemen's Houthi rebels.
So the refinery was already offline. Has Aramco made any statements about resuming operations?
The reporting doesn't provide details on when or if operations will resume. It simply states that the fire was extinguished and there were no injuries.
That's a relief. Let's move on to the sports section.
NFL Hall of Famer Roger Craig revealed during his induction speech that he has been diagnosed with vascular dementia.
That's a significant personal revelation. How did Craig share this information, and what's the context?
Craig announced his diagnosis during his Hall of Fame induction ceremony speech. He was emotional about sharing this personal health challenge with the public.
This highlights the health challenges some NFL players face post-career. Have there been any reactions from the NFL community?
The reporting doesn't mention specific reactions from the NFL community, but Craig's openness is seen as a way to raise awareness about vascular dementia.
That's an important aspect. Let's continue with another sports story.
LAFC secured a 1-0 win over Toluca FC in the Leagues Cup thanks to a late goal by Colombian veteran Segura.
What were the circumstances of Segura's goal, and how significant is this win for LAFC?
Segura scored in the 91st minute, securing the victory for LAFC. This win keeps LAFC alive in the 36-team tournament.
A dramatic finish. Let's move on to another sports story.
Minnesota Lynx guard Kayla McBride set a WNBA single-game record by making 10 three-pointers in a victory over the Dallas Wings.
That's an impressive achievement. What were the details of McBride's performance?
McBride finished with a career-high 43 points, and the Lynx made a franchise-high 18 three-pointers in their 103-90 win over the Dallas Wings.
McBride's performance was crucial for the Lynx's success. Did this achievement have any broader implications for the team?
The reporting mentions that this win clinched a spot for the Lynx in the WNBA playoffs, making McBride's performance particularly significant.
That adds context to the importance of her achievement. Let's continue with another sports story.
Jackson Jobe made a successful debut for the Detroit Tigers, pitching 5 scoreless innings against the San Francisco Giants.
Jobe's debut was highly anticipated. What were the highlights of his performance?
Jobe held the Giants to 1 hit in 5 scoreless innings. The Tigers ultimately won 8-0, with Jobe's performance being a key factor.
That's an impressive start. Jobe had undergone Tommy John surgery last year. How significant is his successful return?
The reporting highlights that Jobe's performance was electrifying and a successful return from arm surgery, indicating a positive outlook for the Tigers.
That's great news for the Tigers. Let's explore another sports story.
World #1 tennis player Jannik Sinner has withdrawn from the Cincinnati Open to focus on the U.S. Open.
Sinner's decision is notable. What's the reason behind his withdrawal?
Sinner cited a right knee injury as the reason for his withdrawal. This decision is seen as a strategic move to prioritize his preparation for the U.S. Open.
Managing injuries is crucial for top players. How does this affect the Cincinnati Open?
The reporting mentions that Sinner's withdrawal, along with other top players like Carlos Alcaraz, has impacted the tournament.
That changes the dynamics of the tournament. Let's move on to the entertainment section.
Mahesh Babu's first look as Rudra in S.S. Rajamouli's upcoming film Varanasi was unveiled on his birthday.
The film Varanasi is highly anticipated. Can you tell us about Mahesh